XRP has seen a reasonably volatile May so far, with an initial surge of around 19.26%, after which, of course, we did see a bit of a move to the downside in the sum of around 14.68%, before we started to rally right the way back up again into our expected range and finding resistance after a 14.49% at that 200-day exponential moving average. Now, XRP does find itself in a triangular wedge shape pattern. This unfortunately does have the ability to be seen both as bullish and bearish, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions as to which direction I think XRP is likely to break into. Now, as I get into today's video, smash that like button. Let's see if we can hit 500 likes on today's video. Really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Why don't you subscribe and stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Guys, let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another XRP video update. Today we obviously are taking a look at the technical analysis here on XRP. We have XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart here. We are finding brief support at the moment right here on our daily 50 exponential moving average and daily 50 simple moving average. So I am looking for some short-term volatility to the upside. Okay, before we kind of get into the main bulk of today's video, we'll be looking to probably move back up a little ways towards our targeted range that we were mapping out before, right in line with our 200-day exponential moving average. So at the point of recording the video, we're about 52.96 cents, so basically 53 cents, and we'll be looking to move back towards that kind of range of 55 to 56 cents, in my opinion, on the smaller time frames. Okay, but that's not really what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to talk more about how the month of May has been a ranging market, and I want to talk about what the macro landscape looks like for XRP here on the medium term. What's going to happen over the next few weeks and potentially next month. Okay, so here we can see that we have, and as I mentioned in the opening of today's video, we have got the higher lows going on here, but at the same time of having higher lows, we have lower highs also occurring here. Okay, this is a triangular wedge pattern, and unfortunately it is a bearish one. Okay, so we want to be aware that, well, I say this one here that you see with more of a horizontal kind of line here. If I turn off the E image, you can kind of see this one. It's a rising ascending wedge, right? Now, if we were to consider that this is not like a double top, I mean, you can argue that it kind of is. If we take out the wicks and we bring in the candle bodies, you see this more as a triangle pattern. This triangle pattern is both bullish or bearish. But I think if we take into consideration, which we should, the wicks of this situation, then we are unfortunately in a more ascending wedge, and the ascending wedge unfortunately has a tendency to want to be bearish, meaning that we are likely to see a reversal and a move to the downside. But like I said earlier, if depending on how you want to kind of take a look at your analysis here, we can see this as an ascending wedge, or we can take a look at it as a triangle wedge, right? A triangular wedge. Both of those are, in my opinion, looking more bearish than they are bullish, okay? At least on the smaller time frames. As I said earlier, on the smaller time frames, we're looking for that move up towards 55, 56 cents. Right, so short-term 1 hour, 4 hour charts, we're more bullish than we are on the daily chart, right? The weekly is actually okay. I'm not too concerned about that, but I am going to be looking for a bit of a move to the downside. Now, as I said earlier, this is a continuation pattern, right? What I mean by a continuation pattern is that whatever led into this is likely to continue after we see this sideways ranging, this continuation pattern, right? That means that we had this move to the downside. We then have this continuation pattern, which is basically just a ranging market all the way through May, and then we have a break to the downside. Okay, and it's basically a three-wave pattern A, B, and C, or W, X, and Y, which is actually better fitting here. And we could see this one coming, moving us down into those lows again. Okay, now what's going to be a catalyst for such a bearish move in the price action? Well, I think there's going to be lots of different rationales, lots of different reasons behind this. All I can do here is show you what the data inside the charts tells you, right? You can all speculate on what news is likely to kind of form over the coming weeks as to what might cause this volatility in the price action. Now, that in itself could be a pretty significant drop in the price action of XRP. We did see a price drop of 43%. We could be looking for the price to move back down more towards 33 cents, although a double bottom would be the minimum expectation at 41.88. Okay, so taking a look at this from an Elliott wave theory point of view, it will be a giant three-wave pattern taking us down towards 33 cents, but there is the double bottom at 41.88 for anyone who wants to kind of hold out hope that we kind of find good support in that range. And there's a lot of support to be seen down there. Okay, this is a part of a much bigger three-wave pattern that spans all the way from the highs of July 2023. That was the 93.8 cent that we absolutely nailed back then with that fantastic three-wave move to the upside. And here we are looking for a three-wave move to the downside. This, you can see, would be a giant three-wave pattern like this, with another three-wave pattern just forming right now inside there. This would actually mark a bottom, a local bottom, where we see then fantastic growth upwards, because if we scale this out once again, this would then look likely to see a fantastic, in fact, let me actually draw this up correctly right in here. This would be a fantastic three-wave pattern like so, taking us well above the $1 level. Okay, now that's obviously much longer term, that's months in the making, but I do want to kind of stress that over the next few weeks, and considering where we are here on the daily time frame from an Elliott wave theory point of view, we should be thinking about and we should be tracking the idea of moving down towards and losing the 40 cent area and heading towards 33 cent. Okay, that's going to be the expectation. Now, what might do that? There's lots of different reasons to speculate. It could be something to do with the SEC versus Ripple. It could have something to do with the Federal Reserve. It could have something to do with the DXY, the dollar index. It could have something to do with an exchange, or it could have something to do with the elections over in the US. There's so many different things that could cause it, right? We can only speculate at this point what that news might be, but tracking the mentality, tracking the herd, the behaviors, this is where it's looking at the moment. Now, of course, the bulls will be looking for breakouts. How to prevent this? We prevent this by moving up higher, and preferably, actually, you don't have to move terribly too high. I'd say anything higher than 75 cents should break its structure and start to change and give us a reversal in the market here for XRP. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, if we go ahead and actually remove, actually, I'll just throw on the EMAs and the SMAs on here again. You can see how the price action's been dancing around the 200-day, the 50-day EMAs, and also the 50-day SMAs. At the moment, we are lower than these, so we should be bearish, although we are finding temporary support on the 50 SMA at the moment, so that's a positive to be seen here for XRP. Let's come up into our stochastic RSIs. You can see here that we are shifting momentum back to the downside, again indicating to us that we might start to see that slippage in price, and it is actually staying quite high on this daily time frame. It's not a large correction going on here. Of course, if we do see a big reversal with Bitcoin, we are likely to see a breakout situation for Bitcoin, for XRP as well as BTC and the rest of the altcoin market. But I cannot stress enough how Bitcoin has been acting rather different than the altcoins. The altcoins have been lagging behind, and this is because a lot of the spot ETFs are presenting themselves with demand for Bitcoin without actually coming into the crypto space. This is an indication that we're only really seeing new stock market money rolling around the stock market into Bitcoin spot ETFs, and not really coming out of the Bitcoin into the altcoins like you have historically seen in the cycles. Ethereum will be very much the same, but I do think we are likely to see more altcoin runs when Ethereum spot ETFs go live and all that kind of stuff. of. So from a kind of point of view here that we see the stochastic RSI with plenty of downward momentum available to it, we should be concerned a little bit that we are likely to see, unfortunately, slippage in price for XRP. Take a look at the relative strength index. You can see it's just hovering around that 50 level. There's no divergences to be seen on the daily time frame, so we're not concerned about any of those things. So all in all, that's actually looking okay. We can go in both directions at this point, but we are above 50, indicating there's slightly more bullish momentum. But like I said, on the smaller timeframes, we are looking for a bit more of a move to the upside before we see the slippage. MACD, of course, is a very laggy indicator. We can see the histogram also starting to turn a little bit, as we obviously have seen some volatility in the price action of XRP most recently. This does not give us a clear indication as to what's going on, because it's only really picking up on the last couple of days here, and it's showing you with a potential cross, but it's quite laggy, so I don't tend to like to use it. Our volume profiles are obviously decreasing quite a bit. If we zoom out here, you can see that volumes were significantly higher when we were higher in price action, and volumes have been dropping down quite a bit since we've been in this ranging market, indicating that there isn't a lot of buying or selling activity at the moment for XRP in these ranges. So all in all, looking at the daily time frame, yeah, I'm not too confident in the price action pushing up, more confident in price action pushing down. And the play that I have in my mind would be to go short on XRP when we retest that 200-day exponential moving average. We're putting the stop loss above the previous swing highs, and we'll target out a potential breakdown towards the 41.88. Gives you a fantastic risk reward ratio of about 7.21. Okay, so again, that's going to be my play on this one. If I am to be leverage based trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet or Blowfin. Those are my two go-to exchanges when it comes to leverage based trades. Obviously, all the links for those are in the description down below. If you haven't yet got accounts, sign up using the links in below, and you will be eligible for up to various different bonuses and rewards depending on where you are around the world, where you live, and all your jurisdictions and all the regulations that apply to your jurisdictions. All terms and conditions, of course, can be found on their website and in our Discord server. So why not join the free Discord, also linked below. So that's going to be the play there. Let's roll this up into a weekly time frame, and here we can see again we are looking at the weekly time frame in an okay light. We've been ranging for a while, but we do of course have ourselves a more how do I put this, more kind of consistent lower highs here on the weekly time frame. And again, you can also see here that we are in lower lows as well. I don't think this is necessarily over just yet. We will be looking for, in my opinion, one more lower low here before we get that next big break to the upside. Like I said earlier, this to me is looking like a fantastic run for XRP. And there's a couple of different ways of going around this. We can either look at this thing through the lens that we have got ourselves a very corrective move, basically just looking for a WXY kind of situation, something to this effect, moving out towards that $170 level. Alternatively, we can kind of try and hope for a WXY, X and Z situation, heading more out towards the $5 level. Okay, a few different possibilities here on the horizon for XRP. Lots of speculation around whether or not you have XRP spot ETFs and things like that. I think first things first, we do of course need to see the lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple come to conclusion. I do think that is going to happen soon. It's been going for quite some time. It's already been 4 years in the making. It can of course go on a little bit longer, but my expectations are that it will be done hopefully by the end of this year, maybe beginning of 2025, and that will hopefully fuel on a bigger spur for XRP, which will see thousands of % in gains, in my humble opinion. But that's what it is, just my opinion. Taking a look at the weekly stochastic RSI, loads of upward momentum. Like I said, the weekly is not a problem here. I'm just looking at the daily, thinking we have to see a bit of a correction before we continue. It wouldn't be unheard of to see a little bit of a reversal before we get into that next fantastic run. If we take a look at this one here, you can see we have this move to the downside, and then we have that next kind of leg to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm looking at here on the stochastic. If we bring up the divergence indicator, you can see here that we are lower than the 50 level. We haven't got any divergences just yet, and still plenty of potential here for more slippage to the downside. So I'm not going to be looking at this hopefully for the next kind of 4 to 8 weeks. I think we're going to be a little bit further pushed back than on that. If we take a look at the volumes, you can really see here how the volumes have really dropped back quite aggressively, specifically in this most recent move on the weekly time frame. So as we push down, volumes have pushed down, shows us a very corrective action here in this ranging market that XRP has found itself in. So this is actually a positive, not a negative. With the volume dropping this way whilst prices move down, it's actually helped support the price. On the price action itself, we can see that we have, of course, stayed above the 200-week EMA. Just here, we closed lower than it a couple of weeks ago, and then above it, and then above it again. But we are still wedged lower and finding resistance on the weekly 50 simple moving average and weekly 50 exponential moving averages, the yellow and blue lines here. So for everything else, XRP is still actually looking okay. I'm not terribly too concerned about the macro outlook, but I am more concerned about that kind of medium term, specifically the daily time frame, where I do see, unfortunately, a little bit more volatility and a bit more slippage to the downside. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on the price action in the short term, medium term, and long term. Let me know what your price predictions are in the comments down below. If you found it useful, smash the like button. Let's hope to get 500 likes on today's video. It really does help the channel out massively. And if you haven't done so yet, check this video out right here. We'll be discussing a bit more of what is going on in the crypto space.